that for a team like Dignitas. I say that even though, I mean, I believe they ended up dropping a buying 200 Thieves 2 and 13. So I mean, that's probably the one black mark there. It's really unfortunate that they have to go down at that kind of record, and we already know that sadly 400 Thieves. I mean, their performance has just been kind of up and down. They will be playing Cloud9 Blue at some stage as well, so we'll have to see how they do later on in the tournament. But I think Dignitas dropping that hard to 100 Thieves is part of the reason why I probably don't have as much faith in the Dignitas lineup moving forward. We haven't really seen them on Haven during First Strike just yet, so now getting our first glimpse as we head into map number 1, and Sam is not even going to be on the Sova to start with. He's actually going to start on a Reyna.
Interesting. So we've got some pretty heavy invars. The duelists are considered. Also in the mix, we did see the Killjoy. Just important to note as far as how the Sentinels will be played here for both of our teams. And for Sentinels defensively, they are going to try to position ShahZam pretty aggressively over towards A long. Not going to see anything with the trap wire down in sewer. That's going to provide some pretty easy opportunity you would feel for dapr to hold on to this site individually, and that will be the case. But as things start to break loose, walking up C long with no information, that is a very light paranoia to come through, and Supa will find two, but you got to credit zombs for able to keep things even with 2 kills of his own. Here comes the re-attack very quickly, but Supa, he's got 4. You want to see some individual pop-off moments. Supa will not make you wait for very long.
One player alive still coming through, dapr. Thinking about the garage player right now. Dignitas have not planted yet. They could actually fall off of C, go towards B or something else. They can make a 2-for-1 here. Low HP for Supa. Possibly on board for the ace currently. We'll get the plant as well. Just getting that ultimate online nice and early. Potentially for that second round. 14 HP to work with, and won't win the duel early on.
Well, he gets the raid boss down, but Shock Dart will come through. The camera is instantly deleted, so no information here. And dapr will be tagged. Immediately jump peek from MAKKA. Beautiful play there, and that will be Dignitas taking the pistol in the back end of 4 kills from supamen.
Supamen was one of the players that ended up getting past the initial paranoia coming through from zombs as well. You see Sick looking up to try and collect the kill onto the recon dart coming through, and I mean, Sick's just looking the wrong way. Unfortunately, he does get the recon, or was thinking about getting the recon. Supa takes him down, gets another 3 as well. He's at, what, 6 out of 7 now, so that's the 4 kills, 1 death plus a plant. He'll be on his way towards from the shadows fairly quickly.
Unbelievable start here for Dignitas in the opening pistol. And as we look ready to go for round number 2, it'll be full Spectres in the mix for Dignitas, though, on the opposite side, or pardon me, from Sentinels on the opposite side. It's just going to be Classics and a Frenzy. And this is going to be an A-long commitment pretty early, you feel like. A couple of shots will actually come through onto the Aljord. Now as the hit comes out, there's the first kill. Good team shots that are going to be there for Oderus and dephh alike. Each of them taking away a kill and an assist. And now the Nanostorm setup will come through as the spike will be planted without context.
Saw Sick moving down C-long as well. Didn't quite see anything happening over there. Sinatraa down nice and early to Oderus on what would have been the retake. Sentinels won't be saving here, but they need to try and make something happen with 2 players. Looking over towards the Dignitas side of things, Supamen now does have From the Shadows, won't be using it this particular round. We'll be wondering what Sick is going to be able to do here with zombs. The 2 players moving over from C. 1 kill would be nice, as Oderus does stick his head out slightly, but at this point in time, Sentinels may be hoping for exits.
Well, you're hoping and maybe even praying, but you're not going to come away with either. Now, careful, we've seen opportunities where ninja diffuses have come through in these instances, but as Storm takes down Zon, there will be no chance of such an occurrence here. Dismissing away, Sick will just try to move forward, maybe try to find a kill, but the red dot chase will not be successful. He will stay alive through the detonation, maybe even surprising for him, and maybe an opportunity here. A couple of shots will tag, but no deaths will come through, so he'll chip away at some armor, but Dignitas up big early, 2-0 up.
Let's see what Sentinels can do now on their first gun round. This is the one that really counts. Dignitas have been really fast so far, and they heads over towards C for the pistol, A towards the Yankee Eco as well. Still got all their equipment online, no deaths over for the Dignitas side. Supa has been planting twice now, so the 4-1 in terms of the scoreline for the KD, 2 plants, 7 out of 7 for the ultimate. And I would like to see if From the Shadows will be used this particular round to try and get one up against Sentinels.
Gonna hear the Odin starting to spam through. It's really good information for Dig, as again with just Spectres, this is going to be a very difficult approach, but it looks like they want to stack towards C long. They would have gambled correctly, as the only player who hears defensively is just zombs, but he is holding a cheeky corner that he likely will not be scouted out, and the defense is already rotating here, Avril.
Yep, they've scouted out A, saw nothing there. And the players are on board. 5 rifles, arms, he sees a lot early. A couple of kills coming on through. The flash comes through as well. It becomes a fairly even trade. It's a bit of it so far.
It's an okay trade, but Sinatraa just holding things down through the C garage. He's able to find 3 in typical Odin fashion. So getting heated up a little bit here is Sentinels after the 3 kills from Sinatraa. They bounce back in the round that you would hope that they bounce back in. But now all of a sudden for Dig, after what was a flawless round in round 2, plus a pretty convincing pistol round, they can already go into an early operator, and Oderus will pull that big dog out to play.
You see 3 weapons having to be repurchased here for Sentinels, not quite ideal. They have the money technically, a couple of Bulldogs will be on the field. Versus 4 rifles, plus the fact that, like you mentioned, the operator early on in round 4 operator for Oderus. It's going to be difficult to deal with. Sentinels, they would really only got that last round because the quick rotate. Let's see how they manage the information gathering early on for round 4.
Spike is going to be left mid-map, so for Dignitas, they are going to try to play for picks here, you feel like, and a lot of that is actually going to be over towards C long. Zombs has already spent his paranoia. That is a critical tool for Zombs to hold on to this defensively, at least individually, so he's actually going to call for a bit of help, and that will mean that the B and the middle of the map completely wide open if Dignitas want to try to approach through the middle.
You'll also notice, by the way, both the Bulldog players over towards C in terms of what Sick and Zombs are doing. Sinatraa was there as well, moving back towards Garage now. Dignitas haven't quite committed anywhere. They're actually playing really far back. Hopefully waiting for a pick coming through from Oderus once the smoke dissipates over towards C. Aldro now being followed out by Sick into Grass. Doesn't see anyone mid so far, so Sentinels don't quite know what's going on. Zombs, though, might end up overstepping here. Again, Oderus is watching C currently.
Psalm is just looking for a pick, though. This is all just bait for him. He's able to grab it, dismiss away. That's a huge pick, because look at the defense on your minimap. 3 members all rotating over to A, but the spike is actually going to go back to C. And Sentinels are realizing that, hey, this is not a commitment. They could still re-wrap back over to C long. There is no paranoia here, so there will be no chance to flash things through unless a curveball can come out. Not going to happen when you fall, as dephh is able to find the kill, no problem. And now it's just down to Sinatraa to hold. A lot of information off the recon bolt, but isn't able to pierce through. Just down to 12 seconds. Spike has to be planted. That's going to be picked up, and it will go down. Sinatraa does find one with a shot card, but he will not be able to hold on, and now it's a 4v1, just down to dapr.
Well, Sinatraa certainly makes it close there. Gets the timer right down low. 1 player versus 4. I don't believe he'll get chased down just yet. Dignitas need to hold on to their guns as well. They have operator in play, want to hold on to it. The Odin was dropped by Sinatraa over towards C, so dapr staying alive, keeping this 1 gun alive over to the next round. Hopefully 1 drop will be available again, and we're playing on 110 here, so the new economy change isn't into effect just yet. It will allow dapr to have full loss bonuses coming through. Dignitas, though, brilliant plays over towards A. You saw Sam walking up slowly, getting that initial pick. And Zombs as well, rather not Zombs, Superman as well, using that from the shadows to bait attention over towards A, allowing Dignitas to eventually walk onto C. Again, some resistance being met there by Sinatraa, but overall 4 players alive now. Dignitas walking away 3-1 in terms of the scoreline here, and they also have the Empress available going to next.
And that's the play you want to see. If you're going to commit to a Reyna on offense, they have to be slippery, right? You've got to trust that they can find at least 1 kill and then either use the overhill to stay alive or the dismiss to essentially get out of dodge. And that's plays that we saw from teams previously. We talked about players like Fiend from Moon Raccoons, who was really successful at that throughout the kind of quote-unquote dead season between the Ignition series and now the First Strike series. But the thing about it is, when you're going to take the play on Reyna, you need to see plays like that from Psalm. So we'll see if he can continue to do that. We're going to get a very early Hunter's Fury here from Sinatraa. He's going to connect with 1, actually a second shot. So a little bit of damage confirmed, but no kills. And ShahZam also pushed through over toward Day Long. Already has a Blade Storm, and he's just able to stay away from this Nano Storm, but will spend most of his knives trying to hurt for the kill.
ShahZam goes down as well, so Blade Storm is gone now. That's one of the more important tools that Sentinels did have this round. Obviously, the gun being saved over in dapr's hands is probably the most important one now. He's all the way over towards Garage. Plenty of players hanging out in A lobby currently. Sinatraa can do nothing about it for now. Frenzy in hand, has to wait for the action to come to him. Sick has a Bucky into this round. He's holding over towards A there. Trying to gamble stack this one a little bit. Zombs is nearby, but Sentinels don't quite have the equipment value here. And because dapr is playing so far away, he has the opportunity to save again.
It's going to be a commit to A. 45 seconds on the clock. Just comes down to throwing out the dark covers, throwing the paranoias, and just getting in. Sinatraa, can you find 1? No, he does a lot of damage, but can't just confirm the kill. Stick, though, with the Bucky will find at least 1 kill on the hold, but the hold is very short-lived. So Spike will be planted here, and once again, like you'd mentioned, dapr is going to just probably hold and maybe look for maybe some over-aggressive peaks while Zombs plays up top heaven to see if he can maybe steal a kill or 2 on the way out.
Yeah, I think Sentinels know they've lost this one. 2v4 with only 1 rifle in hand. Zombs can't quite find another weapon, sees a shoulder reply but can't confirm the kill, so, well, not even really enough damage. That's on Oderus, who is the operator anyway, so, yeah, I mean, at this point in time, Zombs would do well to try and find one exit here, try and fly out, jump out the window, get one kill, do some damage. He's one away from his ult anyway, so dying feels inconsequential. dapr now, looking for his own exit. Won't find one as Dignitas exit towards the attacker spawn. And Dignitas now 4 rounds, 4 alive, and plenty of money in the bank.
So just to kind of give you a brief history lesson here, when we saw Dignitas last play Haven, it was during the Ignition Series era. I think it was actually during Pop Flash. Yeah, they only were 4-3 in total in major tournaments on Haven. They won 50% of their attacking rounds back in the day, 55% of defensive rounds. So just to kind of give you a picture between what we knew to what we're about to learn, Dignitas already is stepping up in a major way. Another instance of this is the fact that they have early opted into the operator, and they've been finding value with it so far. This will be the first round, though, here, Avril. It's going to be met up with an operator for Sentinels. ShahZam's going to bring it to play, and that operator versus operator battle very well might dictate how this first half continues to go.
Suka's running back as well, so we'll see if he does something with that over towards Garage.
Joke's over.
This will be a really good round for Dignitas to want to go towards their own Reyna. Ultimate Sick walks out, instantly connects onto Oderus, and that's going to be a nice 1-for-0 to start things off.
Recon Bolt is still actually in play on his Sick, but he's able to get away. A little bit of help from Sinatraa, but the opening pick is incredible. The operator will likely still be salvaged. I believe MAKKA was just over towards that red X and was able to pick it up, so there still maybe is the potential to grab it. No, he actually has a Phantom still in hand, so that operator is still on the floor for at least our assumptions at the moment. But for Dignitas and now a 4v5, the only tool you have available is an Empress. But are you really going to trust Psalm to go rogue, play with it just for an individual play and try to open up this round? Or do you still try to coordinate in a 4-man hit towards a specific spike site?
Might only be 3 left here because dephh is on very low HP. Probably gets confirmed here. Certainly does. So MAKKA down as well. And this round is all but over now for Dignitas. 2 alive versus 5. Not a lot of time in terms of trying to work together. Spikes is all the way over to A lobby. And Super just had to try and lurk. Now, a couple of kills for Super would be nice. They have the money to rebuy.
30 seconds
Super
left.
will probably do something here. Any damage he does to the Sentinels' economy is going to be worth it. Sentinels buy up heavily into this round and won't be able to afford comfortably into rebuys just yet. So, what can Super do on the backside? He is completely unknown at this stage.
And I'm also interested, you see Sinatra's mid-map at the moment. He is right where Oderus had died
10 seconds
at. So
left.
is he going to pick up a second operator, potentially? We'll have to consider that as we get out of this round and going into the next. Supa on this route very well might make point of contact over towards our Cypher player here of dapr, who's going to be just below him, but it looks like nothing will occur. But no, Sinatraa has not picked up that operator, so it will still just be the one. Like you had mentioned, though, previously, Avril, Dig can still afford to go under another operator, so Oderus will give it another try.
They're very close to more ultimates here as well. MAKKA's 1 away. They have 3 over from Psalm, Oderus, and dephh. So, I mean, for Dignitas, they lose that one, which ends up being quite important for Sentinels, who were pretty poor in terms of economy. If Sentinels don't walk away with a lot of guns in hands, if they lose that round again, I mean, this half would be in dire straits for them. So, everything's competitive from the Sentinels POV. Dignitas now with an opportunity to overpower with their own ultimates. Sick. Thought about getting aggressive there over towards C-Long, but is now just kind of playing for defaults back where he was previously in the previous rounds.
Is there going to be a peek here? There sure will be, and ShahZam will punish. Immediately to the updraft, he's going to see a nanostorm come down and almost gets an opportunity onto dephh. But the thing about this is, you know that dephh is over towards the right side, so can you isolate this pick? Aldrin will be dealt with, and with that little bit of freedom gained, dephh will go back to safety.
So the 4v5 start, though. And again, Sentinels in the previous round did a great job of picking off the Dignitas members. And Dignitas, for now, still looking for potential openings. You still have to get past his operator somehow. ShahZam is there, really trying to test the patience here of that rifle. The sniper rifle specifically. dephh will get away with that for now, as we're down below a minute, and the lockdown has been initiated.
And this looks like it's going to be a lockdown committal over towards A, based on how the spike is playing A long. There are still a number of traps that you have to deal with, though. Blade Storm for Oderus. He's looking to engage. Cloudburst comes through. Tailwind over, but the shots just aren't good enough. ShahZam with the classic will find one. Will it be enough, though?
30 seconds left.
dapr, who had to bail, will have to find a way to retake and watch out for the lurk. You've got Supamen here on the Odin. He's going to find the first and second kill from the flank. Beautiful lurk play from Dig as the spike will go down. They've got a 3v2, but Sentinels look like they want to try to re-engage.
And Super's done it. I mean, that could be the round right there. He's done so much damage here. 2 plays down. Sentinels They're two alive. Trying to come through from heaven. Will clear hell. That's a nice kill from dapr onto dephh. 4 HP still standing alive. Doesn't create it either. Will tap the spike quickly. Survives the first shot of the Hunter's Fury as well. They need to look for these kills. 2, 1 alive now. Dignitas could still have this one. Super for 3 this round. dapr doesn't have enough HP. Super will pick up his 4th, or rather 2nd, 4th kill of the of half so far.
Double on the flank, double on the hold. Crossfire aim just hitting different right now if you're Superman. 10 and 2 for him. My goodness. Hell of a start. And now for Dignitas, they will take a small edge of the economy, but ShahZam still can afford another operator, and he technically could purchase for dapr here as well, and that will be the case. So another full gun round coming through, but a pivotal one for Sentinels, trying to get this defensive half back in order.
On the very close margins of the previous round, but for Dignitas, still just keeping the lead alive currently. And finally, Dignitas will get one early on. They've been losing a fair few first bloods, and now it does get traded the other way. Sentinels have lost 2, but they grab 2 back.
That's another beautiful double from zombs. He takes care of the operator again early for Dignitas. So we have a 3v3. Empress still available for Psalm. On the opposite side from the shadows is good to go for zombs.
There.
And an Aldrone, which is defensively trying to clear out C Garage, will successfully do that, but it's not going to catch much information as far as are there any Dignitas members mid-map, and with that, it's going to be just down to hopefully Zombs holding off by himself here at C, as you really have to split your defensive resources up if you're Sentinels.
And Dignitas could actually make the play over towards C. I believe Sam probably still has a layer available currently. They can walk through the smoke with that one. Sentinels are looking for some info. You did see that ShahZam was walking up over towards A, so fairly confident that nothing's happening towards A right now. Dignitas, with what time they have available, seem to be moving towards B now. Once they get past this trap wire, it will be confirmed that they are indeed going towards B, and yeah, well, I mean, dapr is dead, but the trap wire is still active.
And ShahZam's going to go for the immediate flank. He's over towards A long right now. He's going to come right behind B window. So where do you exit right now if you're Dignitas on this post plant? You've got one member lurking. That's dephh. Zombs hasn't fully rotated over yet. And as you're going to get clearance from ShahZam, this is going to be very tricky. This might just be 3 individual 1v1s that are coming through. Sinatra's now also lurking around through C Garage, coming back up the middle of the map. MAKKA is going to read at least one player in the mid, but does he see the second? Zombs now clearing C Garage. This is very slow, but very dictated for Sentinel. Now on the way in, MAKKA in a corner will find the first. Is there going to be a trade? Shoulder peek comes through, and Sinatra will find the trade. Now up to Psalm, not going to find the kill. It's just going to be down to the work of dapr. He can't find the kill! Are you kidding? Zombs for 4, and Sentinels retake at the very last second.
Oh man, that's a really rough one for Dignitas as well. You see the spike wasn't exactly planted for dephh, so despite dephh coming back from the Windows side of things, look, if it was planted default over towards B, dephh has a really good shot, maybe clutching up 1v2 there, making things extremely difficult. Time will be starting to really run out for Sentinels. Ends up being a nice defuse. Starts things out with Sinatra getting the, or rather the other way around. MAKKA gets a kill, but just Dignitas can't quite hold on there again. I think it not being planted for dephh is the main issue with how that B play ended up rolling out there. So 5 and 3, Sentinels catch it back up in this half so far. Still waiting for Sam, by the way, to pop through the Empress. The other ultimates are starting to come online now for everyone else.
And he's got a Bulldog this round, so this might not be the round we see it either. But with that, from the shadows could be also used for Dig. Sick is considering maybe playing aggressive here at C Garage. Oderus will find first blood. That's over towards the B side of the map. Right over towards A link. TP gonna come up for Supamen. He's gonna be able to find information, and the kill will be there, but the trade is instantly there for Sick. Now he can find a second, that'd be great for the effort. Curveball will be there. Sick is able to find a double. 1v3 situation, but Oderus locking down angles from really tight corners here inside the B site. Will actually walk away with 3 for Dig, and they'll go up 6-3.
Yep, and that'll be a repurchase as well, so I think the Bulldog, well, it'll be kept for Sam actually, so he'll be fine onto that one. Looking over to the Sentinel side of things in terms of what a repurchase they're going into. The money's been broken once again, so I mean, Dignitas should be on the board for 7 currently. They can get through the next round cleanly, and well, I mean, this half has been very Dignitas dictated so far, specifically that last one. We talked about Oderus on the operator, 3 kills coming through, opening B up. They just get free access over towards the B side of things. Blade Storm now available for Oderus, walking to the next one.
Light buy here for Sentinels would result in an early Blade Storm call. Oderus is going to be trusted to try to find some picks, and you also have Psalm on his lonesome with this Bulldog. Not a great fight to take, but ShahZam doesn't hit a single blade. And with that, it will be a 5v4. Nice paranoia to come through. Sick with the hero rifle. He's going to find two, not a third, but zombs is there for the immediate trade. So all of a sudden, the Sentinels have the numbers, and this is going to be the call for not just the Empress, it's also the Bladestorm, as Oderus needs to try to assist Psalm in any way possible. Lear will come through, but Sentinels have given up the site, looking for a potential retake. They've got From the Shadows and a neural theft, but likely there aren't enough hot corpses here for the neural theft to be used. And, well, it doesn't make a difference. Psalm just spams over towards the garage and will find a kill to even things up 2v2.
And that's an important kill as well, because that refreshes the Empress now. There was an opportunity where Sentinels could maybe wait out the Empress. Sinatraa goes in straight away. Oderus down now. So ShahZam, Empress alone, gets one kill, dismisses away. This 1v1 now, super important. Zombs, paranoia was so huge early on. He's trying to run away. He's got the util out. And that's going to give ShahZam the opportunity to get the clutch in there. 4 kills for ShahZam, and Dignitas takes 7.
And now past the 50% win rate on their attacking half. Again, that was the statistic that they were holding going into this matchup, having not played Haven at all throughout the open qualifiers last week. Sentinels on the back foot, but now you've got a full gun round. This is an important one. You feel like you really don't want to see Dig hit 8, not yet at least. Maybe if you can get away with an 8-4, you're okay with it, but going down 8-3, going into the last round of the half, in which you're likely going to have to save, yeah, this is feeling like a must-win round for Sentinels, and luckily they've got plenty of ultimates to use.
Tell you what, though, 6 in the right position right now. He's got himself another ultimate available. Speaking of ultimates being played right now, double Hunter's Fury coming in pretty big right now. Run it back. Let's trade one through as well. A lot of damage being confirmed. Look at that. Dignitas lose 3 almost instantly.
That's a beautiful bait off of the run it back. And dapr is good for another. Almost gets Oderus. Knows that it's an operator play that's coming through. But Oderus will only be able to find one as ShahZam from the backside, able to clean things up, and what was a must-win round for Sentinels comes through in chaotic fashion. But the greatness of that play from Sentinels is not the fact that Sinatraa finds the first kill off the Hunter's Fury. It's not the fact that you've got the run it back that also finds the kill. It's the fact that you had this elongated battle on the right side of the map here, on our midi-map perspective, that you were able to free players through the middle and immediately get there to collapse. Beautiful, quick engagements from Sentinels defensively to find 4.
Ends up being a nice read from Sentinels as well. You could argue there's a bit of luck involved there, where they were stacking over towards A against Sick, who normally plays closer towards the C side of things. Starts over towards A. Early couple of damages coming through from the Hunter's Fury from Sinatra's side of things will confirm numbers in that area, and then the kills come in. And speaking of kills, over towards A, ShahZam opening up into Oderus and Sentinels 5v4.
dapr is going to get a lot of information off this spy cam that there are at least 2 members nearby. ShahZam is feeling it. He's got no tailwind. You have to hit this shot, and he's going to collapse! There's number 2 and 3. Beautiful. You need a tailwind? Well, why not just take 1 bullet to earn it back as he gets the double?
One away from the Bladestorm now as well. Won't need it here. Last round of the half coming on in. ShahZam might get another. He certainly will. Up for the ace now. 1 more. Super will pull it back through. Sentinels though, 4v1. They have spike control. There's no way they lose this.
No way they lose this unless Supa can make something incredible happen, but there's just no chance. He's about to get overwhelmed here in a moment. Gonna try to run for the hills. The spike is, again, in a terrible spot, although this from the shadows is actually pretty cheeky. He's gonna use this to go up towards A heaven. There's an opportunity now for him to make this play, but Sentinels know where the spike is, and it's gonna take 3 incredible shots off of this operator for Superman to even have remotely a chance.
And just by the way, ShahZam started this round 5 and 9. He was at the bottom of the scoreboard for his team. Will now be right up there with those 4 kills. 20 seconds remaining again. Superman just trying to keep this one interesting, but at this stage, Sentinels don't need to chase. They know exactly what they need to do. Hold spike control, wait for Supa to come, clean up the kill, and that's all she wrote there. Sentinels will pull it through 5 and 7. It didn't look good in terms of the scoreline so far. I think 8 and 4 was definitely on the cards there, but ShahZam closed the door into that conversation and make sure that Sentinels are still in the game.
Let's take a look back to see what happens here. It's GoPuff bringing you the first half highlights, and this opening from Superman, it's just like, almost like we're reading a script talking about his individual skill. 4 kills off the Ghost and the opening pistol for him to get Dignitas started. You know, just to hit it one last time, we talked about how Dignitas previously on Haven, only 50% of offenses, which is not really what you want on Haven as a top-tier squad, but they started things off nicely, up 6-3. That little battle right there between Psalm and the Bladestorm was incredible, but this was the major bounce back. After the colliding Hunter's Furies, it's ShahZam who takes over to bring this one back, and now Sentinels are in a much healthier spot, only down 5-7, now going to their attack.
Let's see what they can do now. Walking up over towards B. It'll be Sam up first on the Dignitas side of things to try and stop this. Early plant will be confirmed. The Sentinels should be able to get off site for a nice post plant.
Well, the retake will be pretty easy to get back into the site. It just comes down to contesting over towards B window. The owl drone is going to find a lot of information. And actually, they're going to flash it with a curveball on the way through. It's actually a pretty heads-up play from Sick. Zombs will find one kill in the suit, but hot hands will be tossed out. We also have shock darts that are coming through. That will combine for another elimination. And Dignitas just does not have the ability with their utility to work their way out. It has to be the backside of kills. Sinatra's still holding on to one more shock dart. He will double up with the utility as the Sova and Sentinels will take the pistol.
That's a lot of utility from Sentinels as well. You look towards the hot hands, the shock arrows coming through as well from Sinatraa, and it's just too much to deal with. Sentinels get all 5 alive in the post plant off site. And for Dignitas, difficult for them to win that situation unless they can push through the actual B main windows there. Towards the windows, I should probably say. You did see MAKKA attempting that. Recon into the smoke itself. Rushing through, being able to kill Sick, but they can't quite confirm more kills than that. Sentinels now get that early pistol, and Sinatraa opens things up for the second round with an Ares in hand. So a very typical Sinatraa buy.
You can never be surprised in this day and age with Sinatraa investing into the LMGs. Aggressive dart cover coming through. A couple of shock darts will be placed over the top side of the back C site. And not much will happen with this. Although that said, Supa has been brought down to half HP, so he was tagged heavily by something, and the team shots onto dephh, who was caught trying to cherry pick mid-map, will lead to an opening first blood for Sentinels. And now an opportunity for them to just overwhelm based on numbers alone, considering their weapon utility is going to be so much higher than Dignitas.
I don't think the Sentinels actually bought too heavily here. I do believe they have a Bulldog and an Ares and possibly, I believe, 3 Ghosts. So they actually buy pretty light. They were hoping that Dignitas weren't going to force into it. Indeed, they don't. It's going to be 5 Classics. They are, however, stacking very heavily over towards C, and Sentinels now, sensing there will be immediate danger, do back out of that situation. A's free for now, and the spike is hitting at least over towards B.
Sinatra's going to bait, though. The owl drone bait going to come through, and ShahZam on the long flank. No one is looking at this. How about number 1? Oh, he misses the shot. Okay, ShahZam is able to retrain it. There you go. A little bit more calm on the way through. And as the pitch comes out, dapr will find a double in the backside. And Sentinels, will they get the spike point? No, they will not. But at least they take the pistol in the follow-up to tie things up 7 apiece.
And there you go. All 3 pistol players that bought into the second round, that didn't buy into the second round, can now buy into this third round. 3 Ghosts. 1 Bulldog, 1 Ares. All things considered, that's actually a really decent buy walking into what will basically be a gun round. It's not going to be much of a bonus here, consider that Sick is down to 300, so he won't be able to comfortably rebuy if they do lose. But at the same time, Sentinels, very comfortable buy, I think. Most teams won't have this many rifles walking into number 3 after winning the first 2.
Yeah. This will make it competitive, to be sure. Sentinels getting aggressive. Oderus is going to get so much information. The wide peak is there, and he immediately tailwinds away. Beautiful first pick. And of course, to stay alive, even better for Dig. Knows that the threat of ShahZam is nearby, and this might just be a little bit of jet-on-jet violence coming through. Try to use the turret as a way to bait, but ShahZam will just deal with the utility and then back away. So we'll go 4v5 for the rest of the round for Sentinels.
Still a rifle to be retrieved, as Sinatraa maybe wants to go for that one, just on the floor ahead of themselves. Ares still in hand for now. Got about a minute left to play with, and Sentinels are still leaning over towards A, so maybe trying to fake things out for Dignitas, where, sure, they got 1 kill towards A, and then Dignitas will be thinking, surely Sentinels won't be back towards A. At least that's what Oderus is contemplating as he shifts off, now moving towards C, and this is when Sentinels will take their chance.
And there's not a lot of Killjoy utility here. That's the important thing to note as this attack comes through. It'll be relatively unscouted. You do have the Sova nearby, but Sinatra's going to find the first. MAKKA, how many can you keep it for? He's going to take 1 down and a second. That's actually good enough. 3v2 now for the retake for Dignitas. But I say retake, and it's really not, because the spike hasn't come down. dapr's not in a great position. He'll throw down a cyber cage just to grab the spike. There's 23 seconds for him to play with, but this is a very dense 1v3 for him to try to work through. He's got 2 players up top, 1 more through the link, and dapr's not committing for the plant yet. He's going to try for it, but there's the double peek. Brilliant play for Dig, and you got to give credit for MAKKA. He needed to be good for at least 1. He ones up it by going for 2, and that allows Dignitas an easy way to keep contested the A site throughout the hit.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as Sentinels can't actually plant there, the last player alive, dapr, is not going to be able to get it done 1v3. Dignitas won't rush him down. I mean, even that situation, Dignitas can wait out the timer. They know Sentinels eventually will have to go for the stick there, and a 1v3 with dapr really won't be able to win. And fortunately for Sentinels walking over towards A, they couldn't quite get enough opening picks. Like you said, MAKKA getting the trades necessary. Getting sinatraa down, who isn't able to upgrade from his Ares over towards the Phantom. Sentinels are still going to be able to buy up 4, and they will be able to use the Blakestorm as well. It's an early nice one-shot there, but MAKKA does pull it back.
Yeah, the 4v4 I think is still okay though for both sides. You're happy with the opening pick, but I think you're also happy with the trade. So we'll see how things unfold here. Aggressive play for Sick as he looks to go over towards B. This is where all the Killjoy utility is though, and he's already taken a pretty significant amount of damage. It's going to stick for the early plant, but look at the flank. You've got Oderus who's already trying to play around the backside of B window, and dappr's actually able to save a life right there. That was going to be a free kill off screen into sinatraa, but dappr's able to hold the angle, and now we go 3v3. But the good news for Dig this time of the retake is you do have the Hunter's Fury to potentially use, and as MAKKA finds one kill to clear the middle of the map, you might not even need it. Supamen that's on top is looking to bait out to see if sinatra's going to toss the shock dart. He will. A couple of spam shots will come through, and now you just stick this, I think, at this point in time.
One enemy remaining.
Just about. dapr coming through from the back, though. Has a chance. We'll be able to stop the defuse. Just. We'll still have enough time here, though. Dignitas, but it's going to be able to confirm the defuse. And unfortunately, their zombs goes down quite early. I think if zombs play that one a little bit more defensively with sinatraa, it's really important for zombs to stay alive because he's got one of the few smokes alive. If he pops a smoke down over towards B main, that will make things slightly easier. Counter smoke does come and block out sinatra's view. dapr, if he gets the kill into Super, might be able to extend the round a little bit further. And the last 1v1 might be winnable, but needs to get that kill into Super. Unfortunately, can't do so. So, Dignitas now in the second half here will keep things even 2-2, and 2 ahead of Sentinels as well, 9-7.
Yeah, and Oderus now going into an operator and where he's going to be forcing, or not forcing up, but he's going to be finding a lot of favor versus the light buy situation of Sentinels. Let's just see if he can get a tune out of this trombone. Hunter's Fury for sinatraa actually grabs a tag. If he can find a kill, that would be incredible, but the shots won't connect. Though, meanwhile, Thirsty Garage, Sick is able to find a kill. He's immediately earned himself to run it back, and ShahZam's able to find another pick. So all of a sudden, Sentinels on a light buy are looking primed to take the C site.
They've just gone really quickly here. They sped up completely over towards Garage. Sam down early. Super as well to follow, just overwhelmed by this light buy from Sentinels, now into a 5-man post plant. Ultimates are being committed as well. There should be 2 gun upgrades in hand for Sentinels, and this is looking fairly winnable for them.
And Dignitas were hoping for the ability to go into an Aldrone immediately to a Hunter's Fury to potentially retake, but now that the Aldrone's been dealt with, this is going to be a save. And what an incredible round for Sentinels. The fact that Sick just goes crazy mode mid-map to find 1 kill for free.
He goes sicko mode.
Entire eco sicko mode. I wasn't going to take the low-hanging fruit there, but I'm kind of glad that you did, Avril. But the fact that he gets that run it back completely opens up the C site, and from there was never a chance for Dignitas to recontest.
And Sentinels are still going for this, by the way, because the players that don't pick up rifles here don't feel great need to save what they've got, so potential for a couple more picks. I mean, Oderus will get one as well. Sick will just play 1v1 versus the turret, won't find anything. But for Sentinels, a thrifty win. Nicely found that. A couple of free rifles in hand. We'll take those for sure. And now that we move into a little bit deeper of the rounds, 8 and 9, and Sentinels picking up a much needed, in some cases, thrifty. That's how you really start to bounce back quite nicely, at least in terms of economy. Oderus still has the operator alive. Again, Dignitas saved quite a few weapons there, so the opportunity for Dignitas to get some early action still on the board.
Yeah, this is just looking great now all of a sudden for Sentinels. You're only down 1. You're coming in with even economy. So this is a round that you would love to take advantage of and tie things up 9-9. On the opposite side for Dignitas, they do have ultimates to play with. And as Psalm is able to find 1 kill, he'll earn the Empress. But only down to 49 HP. Is likely not going to find enough health to favor the call to hit this yet, unless he can maybe get an overkill or an overheal somewhere on this potential engagement for Sentinels up the middle. They're going to still just go right on in. Not a lot of respect shown to this setup, and the spike will come down successfully. Keep your eye on the Omen, bottom left of your mini-map. That's Supamen on the long flank. It looks like he's gotten past the trap wire, and he very well could open up the potential for this retake by hitting the flank.
The important members did get alive there. Sick died the last time they tried to rush B. Now the hot hands are still available. Sam, though, did pop the Empress, needs to find a kill to heal back up. We've seen Dignitas in this situation to get Sick down nice and early. It's going to be a trade back. Sam staying alive is important, and Sentinels, it's just sinatraa, and he needs to do so much.
Tough call for sinatraa here. He's going to try to spam and give it a go, but the spike will be defused, and Oderus will clean up the kill. So all of the ultimates were used that were available there for Dig, but it gets him, again, a crucial round. So you've got to respect the energy and the call to go for it. At the same front, though, I mean, we've seen a couple of rounds now where Sentinels, you look at their approach towards B, and it's been, I don't know if you're really going to feel as favorable to getting a free plant and post-plant setup off of it. I mean, the first round that they did it, yeah, it was great, but the following two that we've seen towards B have been a little bit more questionable, and this time they just can't quite hold.
And the problem there for the last two B rushes is that they lose somebody early. I mean, that second time as well, Sick doesn't even get off site. He dies on B. The time he does get off site, he dies fairly quickly after that anyway. Starting 4v5, never great. Dignitas are much better prepared for potential B rushes. They scout out C long, they start swarming around B. Sam pops the Empress as well. They're just able to take B control fairly comfortably for the Dignitas side of things to keep themselves still 2 ahead. So every time Sentinels do get one, Dignitas extend the lead back to where it should be, which is 2 up. With a Dig as well, lockdown available for this particular defense too. So once the push does come through from Sentinels, dephh won't commit to this one. He'll wait for backup, and then they'll use the lockdown to retake.
We'll see how the execute comes through for Sentinels, again, with dapr already down to a single bullet of health left. He's also carrying the spike. That could provide tragedy towards this execute. But once again, Dig is going to allow them to come through freely. Saul, able to find one. This misses away. Sees the second. Almost gets an opportunity, but it's going to be a shock dart in return. Tags up heavily. No Hunter's Fury to counter this, but the spam shots through the wall are good. No lockdown success there whatsoever for dephh, and he will catch a better part of a shock dart. MAKKA able to find another kill that leads it to a 5v3. The flank, potentially, to get here, is going to have to be zombs to play in. Not just for one and a second, are you kidding me? Now all of a sudden you've got to try to work your way out of sight if you're going to commit still, if you're Dig. And the recon bolt that comes through will give a little bit of information off of one pinged up, but this is still a commit for Dig, and time is becoming an issue. You've got to go, you've got to go right now. Supamen able to get a second. It's just down to 1. Trying to hold for this spike, and zombs is not able to take down the 1v1. A last-second retake for Dig comes through successful, and they go up 11-8.
And the problem there is, sinatraa tries to challenge there, goes down, doesn't quite find the kill. His recon got destroyed almost instantaneously as well. They need to keep 2 alive. Their minimum dapr, like you mentioned, was on such minimal HP. He can't really contest properly. Zombs tries to get offside over towards sewers, but ends up re-challenging anyway. In a last 1v2, ends up being a little bit too difficult. So for Sentinels, they do get the lockdown destroyed, but after that, their post-plant ends up going the way of Dignitas on their retake.
Oh, man.
And 3 ahead now, Operator still into play. Sentinels buying heavily into this one. Every player except for dapr down to 0. 2 SMGs walking on through. And Sentinels don't quite have a lot of ults either. Sick will try and get a lot of early control over towards long A. Will do so, and Dignitas might now start shifting over towards A as well.
I mean, this round is the game. You feel like for Sentinels, you force buy in. You lose this, you're on an eco trying to hold off the win for Dignitas. So this is a must-win round for Sentinels. And they're going to, again, posture over towards A. Zombs will lurk behind the play. Aldrone defensively through the middle of the map will not see anything. And there is potential to overwhelm here, especially if Supamen does not find a kill. Lear will come out just to make sure, and that's good information from Supa. Does he rechal this? He sure seems to want to. Here comes the peek through, but Supamen's able to find the first kill. This is not great news for Sentinels. They're still committing. And as MAKKA finds the second, now it's a 3v5, and Sentinels, I don't even know if they have the tools to get through. They will find at least one trade. It'll open things up, but the defense for Dignitas still have 2 members on the site. Neural Theft will come through. sinatraa is able to find a second kill, incredible for him. And with that, ShahZam will upgrade his weapon as the spike is planted.
And they might be able to get offside here as well. I can see the dapr and ShahZam starting to walk away now. sinatraa holding nice and tight over aggressively. Will get pushed up in very quickly as well. So no real backup, sadly, for him. 11 HP probably will end up going down regardless. Sentinels have to play for a little bit of time here. We'll have to wait for the tap. See if Dignitas can manage the situation.
ShahZam needed that kill. There's no way that you peek from long here because Oderus is holding on to an operator. Now he's got to come down and go into the Vandal. He's found one. Cloudbursts are going to come through the tailwind play. He's got an angle, but he can't win it. Sentinels still alive off the force by dapr for 3. But you got to give credit again to the play in the corner from ShahZam. If he loses that 1v1, there is no chance dapr's able to hold off a 1v3 with an operator watching long. Beautiful play for Sentinels, and they're dancing, keeping this map alive.
I mean, you can even rewind a little bit earlier over towards the sewer play as well. They lose one quite early over to Super, and they still decide to push on through. They still get a couple of kills. It ends up being a 3v3 as a plant comes in. Pick up a couple of guns off the floor, much needed, because, I mean, Sentinels, they, again, walked in with what I was 2 SMGs there, so keeping the 3 rifles alive, super important. And like I said, it feels like a must-win round. They keep Dignitas away from the 12. Oderus is pushing up very aggressively this time, though. Might have an opportunity for a nice sneaky pick.
Oh, and Oderus will be caught. Big isolated pick. You still have Sinatraa with the Hunter's Fury. You could use this to maybe go for a flawless round and open up a site much easier. He is usually one of those guys that he'll use an Aldrone, a recon bolt, and then immediately go into the Hunter's Fury. He wants to try to find those opening picks. That will not be required this time. Stall mid-map. He's good for one. Dismisses the way. Tries to take the second challenge, but Sick will be there. Meanwhile, off-screen, supamen is able to take down Sinatraa, so we'll go 3v3.
dephh is flanking as well, so he has a lot of control over towards A. He'll know if there's any rotations, probably hearing the footsteps over onto B as well. This will give information for Dignitas, who at this point in time, the Aldrone just checking over towards Garrett, checking C long as well, just to see if there's anyone home. And it is going to come down to the B play. This is going to be an important 1v1. Sick is posted up over into Alley, into the BA link, and this is where dephh is going to walk into.
This is everything. Sick needs to find this pick, and he will. 3rd kill for him. Has to run it back if he feels like he'll need it. MAKKA will likely give away his position by sending this recon bolt through. He will find information just on the dapr. Sitting backside Gong will be Zom. Supamen is looking for the post-plant setup at B window, but it's not there. Different look for Sentinels as they've completely surrounded the B site, and Supa's got no choice but to save here.
He's got no money either. You look towards his team, 2 players walking with SMGs here. Most of his teammates are below 1,000 credits, so can't really afford to be dropping too many rifles. And Sentinels, they don't hold offsite here. That's what Supamen was hoping for. He was hoping to get a sneaky kill over towards someone watching from window over to B. That's normally what Sentinels would do, but Sinatra's kind of dead. That's would have been Sinatra's post-plant position. So for Dignitas, can't quite hold on. Sam does a nice job of slowing things down over towards Garage, but they end up not being able to retake to B, and that 1v1, I think, over from B link to A, where Sick does get the kill to dephh, ends up being quite important.
Sam still can't purchase here into a full AR. Just over
He's got
2K for most, and he's going to have the Bladestorm to play with, but just to kind of give you a spectrum of how the economy is matching up, as Dignitas are going to go to a Hero Phantom onto Supa. And Sentinels look to get aggressive over towards A-Long, see if they can find someone lurking, but they're not going to get the opportunity here. They're going to keep the spike mid-maps. This is all about trying to find picks here early for Sentinels.
All about getting early control there as well. Just to keep Dignitas guessing, who at this stage are kind of stacking over towards Sue. Sinatraa hasn't quite scouted anything out. All 3 Hunter's Fury shots are not going to connect this time. This sewer play is going to be everything. I mean, if Dignitas find a kill here, that would be massive, and they do. Sick actually turns around, and that golf will be awarded a freebie.
That should be a free weapon as well. They're going to give that over to Oderus. Hit towards A-Long, will back away. Sentinels in another 4v5 situation, but with that pick from MAKKA, he's actually earned a Hunter's Fury. It's going to be another commitment over to B. There's been a lot of that so far. Hunter's Fury going to come out. ShahZam is going to get the beat on 1, but Salma is able to at least find 1 kill. That's worthwhile for him. And this B site will look to be stuck for a plant, pushing through the dark cover, but dephh with the 1-tap. The trade will be there, but still numbers for Dig in a 3v2. And with this rotation trying to stretch over
30
to C,
seconds left.
Sinatraa will be the last one left alive. His spike carrier of zombs has fallen. He's gonna have to take a 1v2 situation, and it's not gonna come out. Dig with a huge eco round. They're on map point.
Match point.
And Dignitas only walked into that round with a hero rifle into Super, and I don't even believe the hero rifle did really anything. It was all the sheriffs coming on in. You saw MAKKA get the early kill, Oderus as well, Sam getting the kills. dephh got that 1 kill as well over into the BC link, and for Dignitas, look, if they win this map, that's one of the important rounds there. Dignitas won a very critical eco, very critical thrifty buy. Now securing 12, operator back in the hands. Oderus went away from the Bladestorm. If things get a little bit hairy here, and for Sentinels, they're going to force up as best they can. 2 players will not have full armor, but they still have 2 ultimates and second arms.
Sick is going to have to find something big here with the running back. Kills would be fine, information would be fine, doesn't make a difference. And here it is. He's going to go right through C garage. Immediately comes out, but doesn't check his left. The rest of the hit that came from C long, though, is successful, so the pinch play is pretty well found. Saul was only able to take down 1, so Sentinels, they've got themselves a 4v2 and the opportunity to play at C.
How did Dignitas want to handle this? 2 alive, one of them does have the operator. And you're looking at the situation where Oderus is already thinking about backing away. MAKKA is dead, so 1 versus 4. Oderus probably just wants to keep this operator alive. I mean, you could actually do damage here. I would maybe even make the argument that picking up a rifle off a dead teammate somewhere, I mean, he'd have to go around the back of C and defend a spawn for that, but making a play here, look at the money for Sentinels. If Sentinels lose members here, even though they win this round, they're not going to have great buys. So on one hand, for Dignitas, you have to start considering, do you drop the operator, drop in terms of Oderus is probably going to die drop, but go for the kills just to keep the Sentinels money low.
Looks like both teams will be happy just sitting in their corners here as this round comes to a close. Sentinels need to win this next round to send things to overtime. Dignitas will have the ability to at least mostly purchase. There will be maybe 1 player that will be weakened up here as far as the overall buy, as Oderus will be forced to buy up for dephh. It's going to be down to what does supamen want to purchase into. He's already bought into the full armor, and now he's reconsidering. Can he find a way to maybe get an AR? He's sold some of his utility, but is thinking the utility is better, so he'll just go to a Bulldog.
Really tricky situation. And for Sentinels as well, opportunity to bring this one to an overtime. Back over towards A, and they're just changing things up constantly. I mean, so far their A plays have mostly been centered around getting early control, flashing directly into A long. This time it's just going to be cage a few players in towards sewers. No sewers resistance. Typically, there has been somebody playing up on the box, so maybe Sentinels getting lucky here. Dignitas pushed up very hard on C long, and now Sentinels get A for free.
And Dignitas has to have a better lockdown this time around. You cannot have it be instantly deleted. So will they use that for the potential retake? Sick is going to go for the spike, not in your traditional default spot. He's putting it in the corner. This will allow for maybe an opportunity to watch crosses from A long, and that seems to be the effort. There is the lockdown, placed over towards the B link. It's going to take away a lot of the actual spike site itself, but there's nobody working on any sort of a pinch. This is all Dignitas trying to hit right back in from the front.
There's no lineup for sinatraa either. There is actually 1 player detained there. I don't believe it was sinatraa. In either way, case, Dignitas are going to be able to walk up fairly comfortably. They have to secure the site location. dephh is going to lose the 1v1.
Oh, but now you have the neural threat to come through. Everyone's just spamming at the spike. That's why you plant it there. So the hot hands and the shock dart can come through. sinatraa finds 3, and we're going to overtime.
Switching sides.
Sentinels with the must-win round. Back in round 20, they make it come through. They extend it to 12-12, and now everything goes back to 0 as we get into our first overtime.
And I gotta repeat that situation. dephh he puts down the lockdown in what is a very typical spot. A lot of Killjoy players will be aware of that position, but doesn't have the lineup for the nano swarm into the corner of A long there, where sinatraa is holding. I mean, a lot of Killjoy players, if they put the lockdown there, they will also have the lineup to make sure sinatraa can't just sit in that last corner. And so for Dignitas, unfortunately, they gamble heavily towards C. They only have the 1 anchor over towards A. Can't quite hold on to A. They give it away for free. Allow Sentinels to have 5 alive in the post part. We know how dangerous it's been when Sentinels have 5 alive. Everybody up there, all the util being played in, a lot of spam. But now that we move into OT, Sentinels on the defense early. ShahZam buying into the operator is not going to have any armor or util.
Dignitas are not even throwing any utility numbers consideration even towards A. Everything is coming towards C long. Sick is here. A lot of flashes are available. Hot hands comes through first, dark cover second, and then a couple of spam shots. There's a little bit of damage confirmed, and Dignitas are trying to back up, but on the rotation, sinatraa is holding things down towards C garage doors, and he will find first blood.
Forever annoying to play against him every single time. sinatraa gets a second as well. dapr's done damage here. Sentinels fought it too. And their numbers are looking so good. Dignitas have to really try and make something happen with their last 2 alive. Super's been responsible for a couple of 4Ks in earlier rounds. Sam has gotten his own 4K. But this might be a little bit too difficult now, as Sentinels look comfortably towards 13, or at least the opportunity for 13.
Oh, and sinatra's going to get tagged up, holding onto a shock dart. He'll throw it out.
30 seconds
and at
left.
least shrug some players back. 30 seconds, and I just don't know what you do here if you're Dig. Hopefully you can find this pick out of sinatraa. The paranoia is not going to connect. Spam shots once again coming through. Bounce pass on the shock dart. Also not going to find kills, but Sick able to lock things down from the back. Now it's just down to 1, and the overheal really won't even be there. sinatraa for another triple, and Sentinels will take the edge here early in the overtime.
Switching
Yep, 2
sides.
plays picked up by Sinatraa over
Match
towards
point.
Garage. You have dapr moving up quite aggressively over towards B window as well. And Sentinels caught hands down in that situation. And that's the map point finally being found for Sentinel side of things. They've been trailing for most of this map. They have to really pull through, even get to this overtime. Oderus is going to do the same thing as ShahZam, come through on the operator defensively. And it's going to be A lot of how this round is going to be dictated is where Dignitas put their members early, because as a reminder for that round 24, solo defense on towards A is what gave away that site. And now Oderus needs to get an opening pick. He's got 4 plays in front of him.
ShahZam for first blood. That's over towards the sewers. Sick is going to toss out a curveball, but they're not even going to bother peeking this. So an opportunity here to potentially use these numbers to put things away, but the problem is you've got ShahZam on 1 HP essentially.
Yeah, he got legged.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because otherwise it would have been Oderus getting away, would have connected the shot, tried to dash, but talked about how important it was for Oderus to get an opening pick on the operator. It doesn't happen. Information being revealed now towards the C side of things, and once again it's going to come down to dephh. No lockdown this time available as dapr gets another, and this is Sentinels now 5 versus 3, looking for map 1.
How do you lose that gunfight, Supamen? You've had so many incredible moments. That one was probably the freest kill he's seen all game. And still doesn't grab the kill. dapr gets out of the spy cam just quick enough, and the retake for Dig is all going to come through C Garage. Not a lot of utility to play with for dephh. You're hoping you've got MAKKA with something. Maybe a leer or 2 for Psalm, but he's going to have to pop. He sees the weapon. Spam shots are good. Do you expect the second one to be there? But Dismiss comes out, and MAKKA's able to find the trade. Plus 1 more. Hold on a second. 2v2 we go. Zombs is the last player that's full HP. Going to see the rifle and find one, but MAKKA finds the kill. ShahZam with 3 HP. Just trying to play the time. Sees his shoulder. Is it stuck to halfway? You have to hold it, and he's not going to hold it. And that's going to be the game. Sentinels in overtime in comeback fashion take map 1, 14-12.